And we're back. We are back in the laser room. Now currently I am working on some other projects that are taking a little bit longer than I expected, but I still wanted to get a video out for you guys. So following on from my Can I Start a Laser Engraving Business series of videos, I've put together this video. I've come up with 3 projects that all have one thing in common, and that is a huge markup for your final sell price. So basically what I'm saying is your initial outlay in percentage terms will be massively multiplied when you come to sell your item. So with that said, let's get on with the first item. Oh yeah, and everything we make is going to be made using the Xtool S1. So our first project is going to be something really simple. Notebooks. So I've bought this notebook here for £1. So the first thing we need to do now is take off this front cover and remove the cardboard on the back. But when I'm doing the back side, I'm going to undo these clips here. Now I can save this for the template for the bits of birch ply. So next we need a piece of plywood. So this plywood here, it comes in the size of A3 and it's 3mm thick. It did cost me £1.95, absolutely scandalous, but I should be able to get 3 pieces out of this for the notebook, which works out at 65p a piece. So this is the Xtool creative software. This is the design that I'm going with. I've gone for these palm trees. It's a bit of a holiday notebook design. So everything in blue is going to be cut out and everything in black is going to be engraved. The holes along the top, they also align for the rings on the notebook. So as you saw, the laser has cut these out. Now I did also buy some reflective paper, and I think cutting this out, it worked out at about 10p. I think it was 20p for a sheet of A4, so I could get another one out of it. And this reflective paper will go behind the palm trees, so you've got a bit of a reflection from it. So all we've got to do now is assemble the notepad. So it's really easy how this goes together. You obviously just slot the open rings into the holes. And then this is the back, and that will go on the top of the front cover. And then we just close them up. And then there we have a fancy personalised notepad. And there we go, now it's all together. You can see that reflective paper in the background. Doesn't look too bad. As I say, you need to select the sort of target customer base for wherever you're going. Now I didn't just stop there. I also made this eagle one, and this has got some black paper glued to the back of that. See if it stands up. And I thought whilst I'm at it, I might as well make something for myself. So I engraved my logo on one of these. There we go. Now, how much can you sell them for? So when it comes to how much you can sell them for, I've had a little look round on Etsy, and people make these notepad books for weddings, bar mitzvahs, Christmas, leaving presents, birthdays, all types of different events. So if you offer a personalisation service, then you can charge whatever you want. However, bearing in mind it cost me £2.40 to produce that notepad, some people are selling these upwards of £20. So when you consider just how much of a profit margin that is absolutely fantastic. It took just over 12 minutes to cut out and make the designs that I went with. And if I was doing a craft fair, I'd have them on the edge of the stand on the table, and I'd sell them for around £10 to £12 each. Right, so moving on to item number 2. So in here I have a DIY kit that was sent to me by Xtool, and this is a DIY clock kit. So inside this DIY clock kit, you get 2 clock movements, the hands, all the fixtures and fittings, some super glue. Then you get 4 pieces of veneered plywood, 2 of them are black walnut, one is red oak and the other is sapele. And then you get a frosted black acrylic sheet and a pearl white glossy acrylic sheet. Plus on top of that you get 2 golden self-adhesive vinyl sheets. So there's absolutely plenty in this kit to get on and make a clock. Now ever since I got a laser engraver I have wanted to make myself a clock. So I've been on Etsy, I've downloaded a set of plans. So let's get the S1 going and start making this clock. So I've got to admit, that clock, I am really happy with it. I think it turned out great. I did download these plans with my mum in mind, so I will give this to my mum. But you're not interested in that. What you're interested in is how much profit you could potentially make. Now I have to admit, because Xtool have sent me this kit, I don't know how much it costs, but looking around the internet, you can buy the clock movements with the hands for about £8–9. Then you need to take into account your sheets of material you're going to use, which on average, let's say £2 for a layer, and you might do a clock with 6 layers in, so that's 12 plus your £8–9, so we'll call it around £20 probably in materials to make a clock. So of course I've been back on Etsy, and if we have a little look on Etsy, all I've done is typed in the search box laser cut clocks and clicked on physical items, and there are hundreds of clocks that come up, all different varieties, all different designs. There's certainly plenty to choose from. But the returns some of these clocks can generate are absolutely fantastic. When you consider your outgoings and then what you're going to sell the clock for, your percentage of profit is going to be astronomical. Let's take this clock for instance. There's probably 3 layers of plywood used to make this clock and the hand movement. So at £2 a layer, we're going to say £6 in material, £8–9 for the clock movement. So we're looking at the most £15. And they're selling it for £64.22. Now in my book, that's a pretty good profit margin. So clocks, something to consider. Right, so item number 3. Now, again, for full transparency, Xtool have sent me this DIY kit. They haven't paid me to make this video or to say nice things about it. They've just asked if I would like to try it out. obviously that's what I'm doing. So this item is a Gobo projector laser. Now I have to admit, I didn't know what one of them was, so I had to look it up. And Gobo stands for goes between or goes before optics. Still don't have a clue? Neither did I. So I did some more research, and it turns out a Gobo is a small disc made out of metal or glass that is etched or cut, and you insert it into a projector, and it projects your design, logo, slogan, whatever, on the wall, on the floor, to a really high quality. And apparently Gobo lasers have been used in theatre for many, many years. So let's get this out of the box and give it a little go. Okay, so when you unpack the box, there isn't a great deal in there. There's the projector light laser itself. Then there's these two pots, if you want to call them, with the different coloured lenses in. So when you hold these up to the light, they're actually blue, green, yellow and red. And then here is the black lenses for engraving. And that's about everything in the box. So knowing literally nothing about Gobo projectors, one of the things that did come up when I was researching them was that they are hugely popular for weddings. People have congratulations, Mr. and Mrs. Smith projected on the wall for all the guests to walk past and see. Personally, I think that's a little bit boring, so let's see what we can come up with. Now personally, I don't know what settings to put in for this, having never engraved onto these lenses before. It's a little bit of trial and errors, but hopefully this one should come out okay. So now I've engraved my discs, it's now time to give the Gobo projector a try. I've pointed the camera at a blank white wall. I turned the lights off and... that's right, I called Batman. But you can see here, I've got the area a little bit wrong on the engraving. So at least I know there's something to work on the next one. So after Batman, there was only one thing really left to try, and that was the channel logo. I actually think this has come out quite well, but if you look closely, you can see the engraving isn't perfect. Now, whether that was the speed of the engraving or the power of the laser at the time, I don't know. But we'll have a little play with something else and see if we can get something better. Now this is an Aztec calendar. It's come out really well. You cannot see the detail in it. That isn't anything to do with the projector. That is just I haven't got a long enough run up for the image to project out to show you the vast detail in this design. So once you dial the settings in, get it centered on the disc, you can come up with some absolutely brilliant images. Now I do like the images that the projector gave off, and I'm a bit disappointed I've not got a longer reach to project that Aztec calendar, because I think that would have come out really, really nice. But ultimately, I go back to what I said just before we started engraving on these lenses. I think these projector type things are much more suited for big events. And this is where I think people are missing a trick, because if we have another look on Etsy, you see here people are selling them for 120, 130 pound for the projector, and they'll engrave one lens. I think if you offered this out locally for rent at say £50 a day, including engraving onto one lens, you could go to the venue, set this Gobo projector up with the engraved lens that you've already made, leave it there for the day, then come and collect it at the end of the night or the next day. You've still got a projector and you've made some money. You then rent it out again, and all you're having to do is just buy an extra lens every so often. Okay, so that's it for me in this video. Hopefully I've given you some ideas and inspiration of things that you can go out and make. And I have shown you that you don't need to spend big to make big returns. I'm loving this clock behind me, by the way. There will be some affiliate links in the description box below. If you do click on them, and the people that have clicked on them in the past, thank you very much. The small little commission kickback that I get goes straight back into the channel and getting things like the wireless microphone that I'm using now and my new camera. Thanks to Xtool for continuing to support me and my channel. And I guess I'll see you very soon in a woodworking video.